record. Sorry, I forgot to hit record. I got to get back in that zone, but all that won't be on there. But you'll see the picture at least. Okay, so with that, you're going to see in these phrases like more than, less than, product, quotient, difference. And there's other ones too, but these are kind of the most common and maybe the ones that people get mixed up on the most. If I said it was 6 more than X, what is the more than going to be? Addition, right? More than, you are adding, okay? So what is less than? Subtraction, okay? So more than is addition, less than is subtraction. What's product representing? Yeah, Jada. Multiplication, okay? If we said the product of two numbers, we were saying if you multiply those two numbers. And then quotient is division. Okay, and then difference. And this is one of them that's already up there. The difference between X and 3. Yeah, that's subtraction again. Okay, so if we talk about difference between, we're talking about subtracting two things.
So when you say like more than, less than, like when, like for the addition sign, I always thought of like the sum of, because like when you say more than, less than, I think of like the
greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, yes. Yeah, if it says great, like there's different ways of saying it, right? If I said 7 more than n, that's saying n plus 7. If I said 7 is greater than n, then that would be 7 greater than, and then the n symbol, right? So basically it's saying, is there an is involved? But for now, it's going to be the symbols. And I'll give you some examples of that in just a minute. But one thing to note with more than and less than, you change the order of how things are. So I'm going to just put these symbols here for your notes just to help you remember with more than and less than. The way they say it, you flip how you would write it. And I'm going to show you that right now. But I want to go here first. Okay? So when writing an algebraic expression, go in the order it's given. So if I said the product of 6 and x, you go in the order 6 and then x. So 6 times x, right? But for more than and less than, you switch it. So if we look at example 1 here, if I say 8 more than x, more than, you switch. So you're going to put the 8 at the end and the x at the beginning. More than is what operation? Addition. So you're saying x plus 8. Okay? What if I said the difference of y and 4? Notice I didn't say less than. Okay? I said the difference. Do you put those in the order or do you flip them?
order.
You put them in the order given. So the difference of y and 4, so you have a y and you have a 4. What is difference telling you? What operation? Subtraction. So you're going to subtract y minus 4. Okay? All right, C is the product of 2 and the number n. What's product? Multiplication. So you could write it 2 times n, but easier than that is you can just write it how?
N2.
2n, right? Just put the 2 next to each other. So I would write it 2n. But you can write it like this. It's not wrong to do 2 times n. Yeah, Avery.
Also sorry.
No, that's great. I love questions.
So for the multiplication symbol, will we be using the x or do you want us to use the dot?
You may use either or nothing at all, right? If you just put them next to each other, then you don't need a symbol. But you may use either the dot or the x if that's easier for you. Okay? All right, quotient. Letter D here. What is a quotient? Division. Okay, now this one you have a couple options. The quotient of 7 and h, you could do 7 divided by h. Anyone know another way you could write that? Yeah, Avery.
7 line H.
You can do 7 over h, and that's the same thing. Okay, so either one of those is fine for that quotient. Okay. Here's my question. Are these equations? No. What are they? Expressions, right? So this is no, because there is no equal sign. Okay, these are algebraic expressions. Okay. I'm going to give you one more at the bottom here. What if I said, oh, you know what? Never mind. I'm not. We're good. Any questions on that so far? Okay, then the second page for me.
Yes.
That's all right. I'm just gonna, are you still going? Example 2 here. So it says write an algebraic expression with 2 operations. So now instead of just plus or just minus or just division, they're going to combine 2 of those. Okay. So this first one, 3 less than twice a number n. Are you with me over there? Yeah. 3 less than, okay, so that's a key phrase there. What do we have to do with less than? We got to flip them, right? So this 3 is going to move to the end, and this twice a number n is going to move to the beginning, okay? Less than is which operation? Subtraction. So we're going to put a minus sign, okay, and it's 3 less than, moved that 3 to the back. So the 3 is going to go behind the minus sign. Okay. What does twice a number n look like? What's twice? What number? 2. Okay. So twice a number n is basically saying 2 times n. So we're going to make it 2n, and then it's 2n minus 3 would be the whole expression. That make sense? Okay. Letter B there. Is 8 more than the quotient of 4 and a number n? Again, it's more than. So what do we have to do with it? Switch it, right? So 8 is going to go at the end. What is more than? Addition. So you're going to put a plus in front of that. Okay, because these are going to get flip-flopped. And then this part, the quotient of 4 and a number n. So the quotient of 4 and n. How would you write that? What's quotient? Division. Okay, so if it's 4 and n, those are going to go in the number you got them in, because it's not more than less than in that little piece of it. So you can either write it as 4 divided by n plus 8, or I'm going to write this one over here so it doesn't run out of room. You could write it as 4 over n plus 8. Okay, so either one of those is great. Choose the one that makes more sense to you. Any questions on B there? Okay, then letter C. It says the product of 9 and the sum of 5 and a number. This one's a little bit tricky because we're talking about a product and we're talking about a sum. What is a sum? Addition. And what's a product? Multiplication. Okay, so if we're saying the product of 9 and the sum of 5 and a number n, try and write down what you think that should be for me. The product of 9 and the sum of 5 and a number n. All right, I'm going to tell you what it should look like, but don't feel bad if this is not what you got. The product of 9 and this is what they're saying. So it's 9 times that whole thing, Well, that whole thing is two different things, right? It's the sum of 5 and the number n. So what we're going to do is 9 times, and there's a different way you can write times if we're putting this whole thing together. And that's by just putting parentheses around it, right? So I'm going to put parentheses around the sum of 5 and n. Okay, so 5 plus n. So now this is the product. We're multiplying 9 and those parentheses. Do you see that? Okay. You can't take the parentheses away. You can't just do 9 times 5 plus n. You can't do this, 9 times 5 plus n, because we're saying we're multiplying by the sum, okay? You would, if you're going to use the distributive property, yep, you would do it times both. Yeah, but for now, you're just going to leave it like this. You don't have to do any simplifying, okay? All right, last example says write the expression as a phrase. So now we're just going to turn it around, right? We were writing the phrase as an expression. Now we're going to take that expression and put it into words. So how could you say 3x? Yeah. The product of 3 and x. What's another way you could say it? 3, what operation? Times, 3 times x, okay? So you may see either one of those, the product, of 3 and x, or you can say 3 times x, okay? All right, so how about for B? Again, multiple ways you could do it. There's not only one right answer here. What would you say for this one? Jada. Yes, okay, so you could say the difference of 7 and x. Sorry, I abbreviated. DIFF is my difference, okay? So the difference of 7 and x. What's another way you could say it? Anyone want to try the less than way? Avery.
X less than 7?
Yes, x less than 7 if you're going to do the less than, right? Because when you do less than, we switch it. Okay? Questions on that? Okay, so then the last one, how would you say that? X.
What is the quotient of 4 and x?
X and 4, because you want to go in the order it's given. So you could say the quotient of x and 4, or you could say x what? Divided by 4. Okay, so that, or you could say the quotient of x and 4. Okay, so either one is fine. I don't care which one you do. I just care that the one you do is correct. Okay, are there any questions on that?
So,
Yeah.
when you switch it again?
You switch it for more than and less than. If it's anything else, put it in the order you see it in. But if it says more than or less than, that's when you flip them. Okay? Any other questions? You guys are awesome. You're going to be good, I can tell.